What's up, kittens and intergalactic family? The first month of the new year is officially done. I am very happy with how January went. I feel like it was an experience that was expansive, illuminating, peaceful. Oh, it was such a peaceful month. And really just a support to all that is to come, like for the month of February. Like I can already feel the energetic shift. Like I can feel it moving. The energy is moving. And for me, I have been really mindful about the Gregorian calendar of that this is a leap year and that this 4-year cycle based off of the Gregorian calendar is coming to a close. And for me, I have been realizing that so many things have been coming up as reminders or activations, just coming through for whatever reason. My soul contracted to have these things appear in my reality to support this experience of this transition into the next 4-year cycle. And I am remaining very curious. I am being very diligent in my mindset and really just leaning into not only the source and the unity with the brotherhood and being a channel for divine creative intelligence to move through, really just giving myself a lot of space and grace that of all the things, high vibe, low vibe, in between that have happened and adventures that have happened and I've experienced over the last 4 years are coming into a culmination to propel me into the next 4-year cycle. And like just how I feel about January, even though that the last 4 years weren't always the most peaceful, they were definitely it has definitely been a time in my life where I just feel so much joy and gratitude and love and alignment and appreciation for the people, the places, the things, the experiences, the adventures, the lessons, the blessings, the however many times I was able to stop and watch the clouds move above head, all of the miles that I drove back and forth across the country multiple times, the blessing of James and Marcia being in my life, of all of these things that I got to experience, and especially being so close to like only being like 5 weeks away from December 2023, the idea for me of like having that be a closing and being like a closing moment and just really being in reflection at the end of 2023 into 2024 to now be here feels like a gift to be able to have the opportunity to again just really continue to prune and shed any last things that have been perhaps still sticking to me. I personally follow the astrological calendar that aligns with the equinox. So for me, like my new year will really begin in March 21st during the spring equinox when it becomes Aries season. And I am grateful for the opportunity even that way of these very intentional calendar time-based moments here in the secular dimension to pause and reflect and be able to see the culmination of all of the choices that I've made and where I am now, and maintaining that wish fulfilled, like Neville Goddard says, and maintaining that level of awareness of all of these things that have happened are supporting the direction in which I'm going, and really making sure for myself that as my awareness continues to expand and I become even more aligned with my North Node, my life's purpose, just becoming just more, I'll say like energetically light, and allowing myself to really view the this experience from that of source rather than secularly, it is giving me the opportunity to really have just this unconditional love. And that is really the reason why I wanted to record this. I wanted to really mark this moment for myself of the self-reflection of the direction of unconditional love for myself and for others and for the experiences that are being reflected into my 3D, whether or not they are directly from my soul's contract or just having or source is like, okay, this is like a balance on the spectrum of whatever that particular person is, or thing or event is symbolizing, being able to appreciate that for whatever reason, I have been able to experience that and compost that and continue forward in this journey. I have not really been sitting down and like reflecting back and forth in this sense of a video way. I've been doing a lot of writing. I feel like January was reinvigorating to my writing practice, and that has been like absolutely just so. I just really like writing, and I like handwriting in my journal and my notebook. I appreciate that moment of being able to, I feel like, flow through and capture in that moment the essence of all of my representatives, all of the versions of me, and allowing myself to really channel through this higher awareness into text that then I am able to, from a secular viewpoint, from me, this viewpoint, to then go back and reread and see how does that, where is that touching on? Like what were themes, what were patterns, what were situations within that writing moment, whether it's 10 minutes, 20, 30, an hour, however long it is that I have available to just sit there and really just write, like what's coming up for me without it being, sometimes I catch myself, like if I am going, like if I'm just daydreaming or just going through visualizations or reflecting, sometimes I am reflecting, I'm reflecting and visualizing, that sometimes I forget what I had been thinking about. And by writing it down, I'm able to go back and review and see like what was that I was thinking about? What was it that I was processing? How was I feeling? What were different things that were coming up that perhaps if I were verbally communicating that to myself, I may not have captured or been able to revert back to those details. So I'm very grateful for January and the opportunity to have journaled and continuing this practice of journaling as much as I have. It just feels really, even though that I have journaled off and on for a while, like in this particular experience, I am grateful that was like a self-soothing technique, a higher vibrational technique that I actively chose to do of, okay, just write it down, just journal it out, rather than, I don't know, not doing it. So for me, like recording became on a pause while I was manifesting and processing through a more analog way, which I'm all about the analog. So I'm grateful they still make paper and pens. Yeah. This was kind of just like, my goal is to record every single day for at least 10 minutes for the entire month of February. And even if I come on here and I'm just kind of rambling, it's okay. It is what it is, and I'm going to upload it, and I'm going to be grateful and thankful that for whatever amount of time that I am able to sit here and talk about it, that I have been provided this amount of time in this time-space reality to come here and have these words. And I'm very much looking forward to the end of this month, because it is a leap year, the 29 days in February, and reflecting back on what this whole month is bringing me. What are the lessons? Who are the people? What are the places? what is the food? What is the music? What is the vibes going to be throughout the month of February as this 4-year cycle comes to a complete end and entering into another one? It's like, I think her YouTube is Draconian Priestess, Meg. She's been saying a lot of, sounding very resonant to Inception, the idea of like a universe within inside of a universe. And for me, it's like having these multiple start times of with inside of a time capsule. And I just want to put the disclaimer that I am very well aware that time is an illusion and it is a teaching tool that once the lesson is learned, the time collapses on itself. And then it becomes the learning experience, becomes the knowing experience, and it just becomes deposited into the remembrance of I know this rather than I'm learning this. Yet, it does not stop, in my universe, the idea of utilizing these various metrics of timekeeping to use as markers for myself as I am reflecting and moving forward on both learning and collapsing that time from learning to knowledge, and also to have these specific points of time to be like, okay, that was significant, and this is how much time it's come. Because at the end of the day, for me, I just utilize the tools that I have in this dimension because that's what I have in this dimension right now. And time is one of them. And I no longer perseverate on time. I just acknowledge that it is a way in which I can measure the experiences that I'm having, whether it's the duration of the time of the actual activity or the time in between, or behaviorally speaking, the latency, the amount of time between something happening and then having a reaction. And sometimes you want that latency to actually be very short. You don't even want it to be very long. Yeah, I made it to 12 minutes, y'all. I'm happy about it. Day 1, here we go, February. Today was 2-1-2-2-4. I'm pretty excited for tomorrow because it's going to be 2-2-2-2-4. I'm just like loving these twos. So with that, y'all, I want to wish you a great morning, a lovely afternoon, a delightful evening, and if I don't see you later, a happy good night. Bye.